48 years.
Yeah.
You must have seen, I mean...
I remember back in 62, 63, 64, when John Kennedy, before John Kennedy was assassinated, the day he was assassinated, I was on my way downtown in Los Angeles to East LA to give a lecture on secret societies and world religions. And when I got in the car to go, I heard on the news that John Kennedy had been assassinated. I mean, I've been talking about the influence of the dark side manipulating us as far back as 63, 62. And but I feel that there's some kind of a otherworld intelligence that is manipulating us, and probably it has been here before we humans were here, and it represents a very, very powerful presence, evil presence. I'm sure, as you have said, you're right that there is and Bill, you have said the same thing about there is a spiritual balance in the universe, and that there's a good side also. But I feel unless and until this other world power is exposed, we as humans are not going to be able to extricate ourselves from this tragedy. The world has got to understand that we're not being ruled by humans. We are being ruled by an other world, off planet, for lack of a better term, alien life forms, which couldn't care less about us as humans.
I completely agree with that. And of course, we're at one on that. My feeling is that there are other forces. See, I'm not talking about humans removing that. I'm talking about humans waking up to it, and some humans have come here, what we call humans, because we're just consciousness, humans just a program on this planet, have come here to play a major part in removing that, by removing its vibrational blueprint. But these other forces in the unseen are going to sort that overwhelmingly. And those within this reality are going to play a part with that level of awareness in doing that. Because you're absolutely right. Unless that is done, then the control system goes on. Because that which is controlled up to this point will still go on controlling, but it's not going to. It's going to have the shock of its life. Because the way I see it, that's all I can say, the way I see it. But they put humans in a box smaller than they're in. So humans have a certain perspective. Not a very wide perspective if you're only there, and that's what it's meant to be from the control system point of view. Then you have another level of awareness, which is the entities controlling. And from that level of awareness, the continuation and expansion of the control system is a done deal. They actually think it's just got to play out. They think they're there. They think the game's over. But there's another level of awareness, which the control system level cannot access, which has got a whole different outcome manifesting. And this level is impacting more and more into what we call human society. And somewhere, not a lot further along this road, if you like, it's going to massively impact this tipping point I'm talking about. And the control system, which thinks it's game over, is going to have the shock of its eternity. I've been through this whole last 20 years of my conscious awakening to this, and there have been times through the 90s and whatever when I've thought, what can we do about this? Where's it leading? You can't see an answer to it. But I tell you what, I've never been so totally sure that in my lifetime it's coming down. Our kids and grandkids are not going to live in an Orwellian fascist control system. They're not. They're going to live out most of their lives in a world of potential of expanded awareness of because as the epoch changes, it gets more and more that the truth vibrations will dominate awareness rather than the suppressed epoch we're coming out of. And they're going to live out most of their lives, young people today, especially the very young, in what we would perceive in this epoch as a paradise, a utopia. There won't be challenges, but compared with what we've come through. And we are real privileged people, and we've chosen well. When I say we, I mean everyone in the world today who wants to play a part in this, because it's just a choice. We're at the cusp of we're playing a part, and anyone can play a part in this transformation. What a wonderful thing! What a wonderful thing when we leave this body computer, this genetic spacesuit, and we go back to where we've come from in pure awareness, and we sit in the bar and we think, job well done, I'm glad I did that. And the worst thing that can happen to us when we are making this contribution, if we allow ourselves to decode it, is someone takes us out. Now, if someone takes us out, now what happens? My awareness leaves the limitation of the body lens, the body computer, and expands into simultaneous awareness of all that is. Oh dear, I'm terrified of that one. It's the worst that can happen.
I totally understand.
That's the worst that can happen. And if we can just come from that perspective and therefore see that as the worst that can happen, then there are no limitations anymore on what we will say and what we will do. We'll do what we know to be right, we'll say what we know to be right, and consequences can take care of themselves. Because in the end, we are saying and we are doing, but we're also creating the consequences of saying and doing. We have the power to control both. And when we realize that, game over the other way.
Let me tell you two experiences that I've had that bear on what we're talking about. I was in Hawaii many years ago with my wife and some friends. We went to Hawaii, and we were sitting in a restaurant right across the street from the Hilton Village. And in the restaurant, I had my back to the door, and someone came in. I didn't know. I had no idea who it was. Someone came in, and an electrical shock went through my body, just as if someone come up quietly with the live wire and hit you. And I knocked over the stuff on the table. It was an electrical shock. And all I could hear in my head was, get up, run quick, you're in trouble. Your life is in danger. And involuntarily, I didn't think to do it. I just got up and started running, which implied somebody else was in charge of my brain and my mechanisms, because I wasn't even trying or thinking about running. I was just running. And all the time I was running across the restaurant, I could hear in the voice saying, quickly, get out of here, your life is in danger. I ran through the back door, I ran through the back lot, and there was a main street, the main boulevard, and the voice said, run across the street, quickly, run across the street. And I yelled, I can't run across the street, it's a traffic here. And this is no one's going to harm you. Run across the street. And involuntarily, I ran across the street. I didn't even decide to do it. And as I ran across the street, it just so happened that there was no traffic for that moment. And then it said, run around the outside of the hotel. So I ran around the Hilton Village Hotel to the ocean side. And then it said, you're all right now. Now you're safe. You're okay. And I sat down by this little pool, and I was out of breath, and I kept thinking, what did I just do? My wife is sitting there with our friends. The stuff is all over the floor. I look like an idiot. I have no idea in the world what I just did or why. And the voice was saying to me, you're okay now. Now you're safe. I came back to Los Angeles a little while later, identical. I was sitting in a restaurant right on Wilshire and Fairfax, a little hamburger stand at lunch, and I was sitting at the counter, and peripheral vision, I didn't see them, but I saw two guys walk in. And when they walked in, immediately it was an electrical shock. And I almost fell off the chair at the counter. And the voice said, "Get out of here quick, you're in trouble, run." And so I stumbled, I had to get up, I stumbled on the floor, I threw some money on the counter, and I ran out the side door. And the voice kept saying, "You're in serious trouble, run quick. Your life is in danger." And I ran all the way up Fairfax, about 3 or 4 blocks, until the voice said, "All right, you're safe now. Now you're safe, sit down." And I sat at a bus stop, my heart was pounding, and I thought, that's the second time this has happened. What in the world is going on? Because it was involuntary. I know what I was told, but I wasn't thinking to do it. I was just doing what I was told to do. And I'm telling you this because I have been told many years ago and over by many different people, as you have had psychic readings, I have also. And I've been told, you have been brought here. You have come back. They have brought you here. Or you've come in to do something. This is not just by chance you happen to have been born and God did that. No. You have come here to incarnate into this world at this particular moment in time. And so it appears to me that there is some kind of a cosmic war going on between higher intelligences, good ones and evil ones, out there that we're not aware of. And the good ones are doing something with the human race while the evil ones are doing something with us. And so we are merely pawns at a bigger and more serious being played out to protect or secure the protection of the human race.
I wouldn't say you're a pawn, Jordan. I say you're at least a bishop, and maybe a king or a queen.
It's funny,
but
what you're describing here with this different approach to life, shall we say, I would say are these two epochs. That it's at this point, these two epochs. This is the one of suppression. It represents the one of suppression, and we're at the cusp of this new epoch. And because we're at the cusp, they're both playing out together, and so we've got this situation that you're describing. Do you know, when you were talking there, you know what I was seeing? I was seeing that scene from The Matrix where Neo is in the office and he receives the phone in the FedEx package, and he opens it up. It's a phone, and then Morpheus is on the phone saying, "Okay, you're in trouble. Okay, get down very low, go across the corridor, and then do this." Now that for me is very, very symbolic of what I call the quiet voice. The quiet voice, which talks to us through intuition. And what happened, of course, with Neo is that he followed it okay for a while until there was a real challenge. The quiet voice was saying, "Get out of the window on the tower block, go round that partition and go down the thing." And it was like the conscious mind got control of Neo at that time and overrode the quiet voice, intuitive knowing, intuitive guidance, and therefore he got caught. Now this is the challenge that we have. What changed my life totally, more than anything else, in 1990 was I decided that if my head and my intuitive knowing were ever at odds, I was going with my intuition. And what happens is when you do, you get yourself in some scrapes. But the more you do it, like using a muscle, the louder the quiet voice gets. This is what Gandhi talked about. He said, what did he say was the effect of the only tyrant that I listen to is the quiet voice within. Words to that effect, close to that. And the choice is, are we going to follow that silent voice, that intuitive knowing? Because if we do, we're following the level of awareness that can see the game from source to sea. If we can't, then we're stuck in five sense mind reality, which can see the next turn on the river. So this is the challenge for us. If we can follow that intuitive knowing, like you clearly did by reflex action, then we'll never get into trouble. Or if we do get into trouble, we'll always get out of it. And this applies to everyone on the planet. But because because the intuition, because it comes from a totally different level of awareness and perception of this reality, what it's urging us to do often, this, which is programmed from cradle to grave to see life as we're programmed to see it, it's going, you can't do that, that's crazy, we can't do that, what about this, what about... It lists all the reasons why you shouldn't follow this. And if we do, not only will we be protected and as we talked about, but we'll also be guided to fantastic amounts of information which are waiting for us if we follow that this is telling you, you shouldn't go there tomorrow, you've got an appointment, you can't go there, I don't care what you're saying, you can't go there, you've got an appointment. No, I'm going to cancel the appointment, I have to go there. And when you do, something is there which gives you a massive insight that this would have denied you had you gone with it. And most people, because of the programming, are welded to this reality. And therefore, they go round and round in this circular, you get up in the morning and then you go to work and then you come home and you have your tea and then you watch telly and you go to bed and then you get up and you go to work and then you come home and you have your tea. And that's what mind does. It loves kind of repetition. Intuition, flow. Intuition, flow with higher levels of awareness, source to see awareness. And suddenly when you do that, your life becomes incredibly synchronistic. Amazing coincidences and miracles happen. I mean, we've all experienced it, haven't we? And it's open to everybody to do that as long as you let the head intellect serve consciousness instead of govern. The way I put it is, when you follow intuition, you live life. When you follow mind alone, life lives you, which is what happens with most people. And so we have access to this incredible library of knowledge, this incredible library of guidance. And it's not the chosen ones, it's those which are willing to open their minds to access that level of knowledge. It's not a club. You don't need a login code name. It's sitting there in the space that we are now experiencing. All we have to do is open up. So like I said earlier, instead of saying, when's the cavalry coming, when are we going to the cavalry?
The Buddhist priest said, unfortunately, there is no key to the universe, unfortunately. But the good part is that there was never a lock on to start with.
Exactly.
Yeah. But,
exactly.
Going back to what I was saying, my experience implies that it was not a quiet voice. It was an emergency, that my life was in danger, and it implied, this whole experience both times implied that there is some kind of a military type operation going on with these extraterrestrial reptilians, whatever these off-world entities are that have been manipulating us. There's kind of like a military thing that's going on. Some good entities, for lack of a better term, good extraterrestrial powers. I mean, this is nothing new. Christianity and Judaism talk about good angels, the bad angels, and whatever. So it's implied that there are good and evil entities here.
From my perspective, Jordan, though, that they are another level of this energetic playing out. That they are attached. I mean, we think we're human, and it's just one species of existence within five sense reality. But there are other non-human entities who take other forms, and are also subject to the choice between which of these energetic states, these consciousness states, are they going to choose. So it's all playing out. And when you say when I made about the quiet voice talks to you quietly, but when you are in trouble, like you appear to have been, it can grab you by the bloody collar and launch you out there. my feeling is, the more I kind of understand this, is this guidance of those that are playing a part in this transformation. It's much more powerful than we realize, and it's much closer to us than we realize. But we don't really become totally aware of it until there is a panic station situation, and suddenly, boom, it says this is going to happen. Because if it was a case of we come in here to try to make a contribution, and then people trying to stop us can come up and go bang, bang, thank you very much, mine's a large one. What's the point of us coming? So there is a very, very powerful force which is there for those that have come to play a part. And at its most extreme, it can yank you out of a dangerous situation.
Well, see, I appreciate what you're saying, but again, I'm coming back to my experiences have made me believe that we are in a military kind of thing going on with, in fact, other life forms, which are higher life forms, which are unseen. As you talked about, and I've talked about too, the reptile alien presence. What are we talking about, reptile alien presence? I don't know exactly what all of this means, but I know it's there. I've heard way too much not to know that there is a reptile alien presence on the earth.
Right.
Where did they come from? How really powerful are they? How long have they been around? And what is their relationship to us? How much can they do to us and manipulate us? And when I had those two experiences, those experiences told me that there's some kind of a real dangerous military action going on. And sometimes you might possibly, as I did, come into close proximity with other alien life forms that are very evil.
And there's no doubt about that.
And if you do, the ones who are protecting you will quickly get you out. Like the FBI gets out their man in the mafia, and he's been spotted, he's been found out. The government has to go in quickly and get you out. Why? Because you're a dead man. They found out who you are. Get him out immediately. Whatever it takes, get him out of the place. So I felt that this is what was happening to me. It was as if all of a sudden, out of time and chance, two other alien life entities came in. They looked like men. They weren't men. And immediately, whatever was protecting me, like military, says, get out of here quick. Well, that implies there's something going on here militarily from an otherworld point of view.
But it also implies that you're protected.
Well,
and what we have to remember is that whatever these forces are, they're not all powerful, otherwise we would not be able to have this conversation.
Well,
they're certainly not all powerful.
But see, the point I'm making here with you is that I understand and I'm totally in agreement that there is some kind of a change in the epoch, the change, because I understand the astrological concept of a changing of the yugas and the changing of the eras and epochs of time.
Right.
But I'm still convinced that there is some kind of a evil presence here, like a military. They are organized.
Well, what I'm saying, and what Jordan is saying, are different expressions of the same thing. Because when I'm saying, the base construct of everything is consciousness, and there is a changing of the guard in terms of the energetic or state of awareness in this reality. We're at this cusp. Of course, at one level, it's pure energy, it's pure awareness. But as it comes down the levels, that expresses itself in different ways. So on the human level, you've got people who are awakening and people who are still closed. You've got people that want kindness and peace in the world, and you've got people that want to control and manipulate and exploit and parasite off. And one of these levels, it takes the otherworldly level that Jordan's talking about, which is of non-human entities in this tussle for either control of this reality or benevolent protection of this reality. And they too are expressions of this energetic epoch change. It's just which level of it are we looking at? So what I'm saying, and what Jordan's saying about this this military kind of battle, if you like, is absolutely the same. Because on one level, that is what's happening, because it's an expression of this change, and because it's expressing itself in so many different ways, and that is one of them, and it is fundamentally affecting this one, which is the human level, because of what's going on there. What I'm saying is that because this energetic transformation, this expanded awareness is now coming in, as it becomes more powerful and the tipping point comes where the old epoch energy is replaced by the new epoch energy as the dominant one in this reality, then all these different levels of malevolence, whether they be non-human, alien, or as we call them, down into the parasite, their day is over. But it's not over yet, and like I say, for a while, this is all these different. This is really going to be challenging. There's going to be great upheavals because we're not in the new epoch. We're at the cusp of the changeover, and this is the most chaotic and difficult and most challenging. And so we at all these levels, we're going to see amazing things going on, and there's definitely what you might call battles going on in this non-human level, absolutely.
And both in the Jewish and the Christian and even in Islamic tradition, there's talk about the spirit forces at work in the universe. Evil, and like I said, Christians talk about the good angels or the demons and the devils, and they're very, very bad. While the angels are very good and they're protecting us, but they are actual entities who are at war in the spirit world with each other, and they have their people on the earth. The bad ones have the bad, and there's some kind of a matrix of war going on between the good and the evil on the earth, and it plays out in a very reasonable, legitimate military fashion. There are evil forces that are watching you, that are trying to stop you, while others, good entities, are coming in to protect you and to keep you safe. So, in my vision, is that we are in the physical world. We are being played by higher powers who have a design on us. Maybe the good ones have a design that we are supposed to evolve and to grow in wisdom and knowledge and to blossom out into godly creatures with wisdom and knowledge and have a better civilization, a better life. While on the other hand, they're very well